The last few episodes have demonstrated how Exodia was one of the most powerful decks ever conceived, and Konami had to address the elephant in the room. Volume 7 was the first set released during the new year, and while Thunder Dragon slotted its way into Exodia decks as seen in the previous episode, powerful cards like Mirror Force were released, yet didn't see any play since Exodia decks rarely use the battle phase. Konami finally intervened with the February 2000 ban list, limiting Change of Heart, Last Will, Pot of Greed, Mirror Force, and every Exodia piece to 1 copy per deck. Additionally, Graceful Charity, Harpy's Feather Duster, and Monster Reborn were semi-limited to 2 copies per deck, and Trap Hole was unlimited to 3 copies. Furthermore, Konami issued the first ever set of erratas, reworking the text of both Sangen and Witch of the Black Forest so that they only triggered when sent from the field to the graveyard. Let's see if these changes were enough to push Exodia out of the metagame in the history of the OCG. What the fuck just happened? How did we lose with the strongest, most overpowered Exodia deck of all time? I don't understand it. How is that even conceivable? And now we have to play with the nerfed version because Joseph has to continue his redemption arc for me dunking on him for a few episodes. This is what Exodia looked like post-nerfs, and there's a lot of nerfs, so let's quickly go over those. I mean, we have a lot of limitations and semi-limitations. We have erratas we have to consider as well. There's a lot going on here. So first of which, let's talk about what actually got hit out of the deck. So most notably, all the Exodia pieces got hit to 1, which you may not necessarily think is a bad thing. I think it's okay for like the Exodia pieces to be at multiple copies because as we've seen in previous episodes, they can be kind of inconsistent. But the problem now is if you have a single Exodia piece in your hand, a single morphing jar just kills you. You have no win con because there's no way to get these pieces back. And maybe that's for the better after everyone had to live through like a tier 0 Exodia format, but we're all used to this anyway for anyone who's played Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long period of time. 1 piece of Exodia each seems kind of thematic, right? But that's not all. We also have the fact that Change of Heart's limited, Graceful Charity went to 2, Last Will went to 1, which, I mean, honestly, they should just ban this card. Monster Reborn's at 2, Pot of Greed is at 1, and funny enough, Mirror Force is at 1, even though it just got released, and honestly, in a tier 0 Exodia format, Mirror Force is actually maybe the worst card you could play. Maybe they realize that if they do all these hits to Exodia, that Mirror Force is going to be playable because good stuff becomes like the best deck again, and so that's the situation we're facing now. Sangen and Witch of the Black Forest also have been errata that they don't trigger when they go to the grave from anywhere. They have to specifically go from the field to the graveyard, and that sucks. They're still incredibly powerful, don't get me wrong, but now you can't +2 off of every Graceful Charity you're going to be firing off. And furthermore, I'm pretty sure Last Will is also errata now where it only works if the monsters are sent from field to the graveyard instead of like from anywhere like it was before. But there's a lot of like mistranslation and like there's a lot of confusion speculating around this. The fact it was limited though is kind of enough. We've seen Last Will in other formats where it's at 1, you know, like Reaper format and such, and it's like it's still a powerful card, don't get me wrong, but it still has the busted effect that it's able to continuously spam out monsters. Theoretically, an Exodia FTK is still possible if you get extraordinarily lucky, but I think a lot of things really have to go in your favor for that to be the case. So at this point, you're really only playing Exodia just because like you like the deck. I don't think you play this deck because you think it is the best deck. It's far from it. The fact we have to bring back like Skullangel and stuff into the deck just shows how nerfed the deck is. So what we're going to do is I'm going to see how this works in the first game, and I think I'm going to actually board into good stuff post game 1, because then that way we can actually see what it looks like to play like a sort of good stuff matchup. And Joseph might board in a bunch of stuff to try to stop Exodia. Then that way he thinks we're on it. We can play good stuff and maybe capitalize on that. Maybe brings in like a bunch of morphing jars or something. I don't know, but I think it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. And speaking of good stuff, let's see what the good stuff deck looks like at this point. Now the fact that we know that Exodia isn't really much of a threat because it's suffered so many nerfs, good stuff just immediately becomes one of the best decks again. And it has all the same hits because the Sangen and the Witch erratas are still in effect. Same thing goes for Last Will, and all the other cards are limited or semi-limited, etc. We have the fact that this deck now has the ability to just run over everything else, right? Like this deck hasn't gone anywhere. Exodia was just so so powerful by comparison that it really just had no equal. But just teching in a lone copy of Morphing Jar in a deck like Good Stuff honestly isn't even terrible, just because if you run out of gas, Morphing Jar is a way to get you back into the game theoretically, but having it in the main board just so you know that if you're going up against an Exodia list, you're not going to just immediately, or there's even the remote chance that you lose, because since you have triple Sangan, triple Witch, at any point you can just search this Morphing Jar, and if you know they have a single piece of Exodia in their hand, you just jar it away, and as long as you can like protect that with maybe like Judgment or something, you're probably going to win the game. Like there's probably not going to be any issue there. But the Good Stuff deck pretty much looks almost exactly like it did before. The Stein inclusion is still in here, so your damage threshold is actually quite high. If you get lucky with some Graceful Charities or like Last Will combos, you're able to just get a bunch of guys on the field, Last Will for Stein, pay 5,000, get Black Skull Dragon, and conceivably, maybe with like a Regeki or a Darkhold leading all of that up, you're able to maybe get your opponent down from 8,000 out of nowhere. Not to mention Ultimate Offering is still a card that is legal, and it's not as broken as people thought it was, but it's still pretty good when you can go summon guy, Ultimate Offering, tribute for a guy, and then Last Will into Cyberstein plus Black Skull Dragon. That seems pretty good, right? I think that seems like an okay deck at the time, but it's definitely more fair. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out, playing like a Good Stuff mirror, even though we're not playing exactly the same list. We're playing a lot of identical cards, and I think it's going to be a good time, if we can survive game one, that is. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's not make you wait any longer. It's time to duel. How could this have happened, Joseph? How could you have defeated the almighty Exodia? And if you didn't defeat it, Konami defeated it, because we have a fresh set of bans, or rather limitations, I should say. And all the erratas, Witch and Sangan now don't trigger when they're discarded or milled, and Last Will kind of sucks now. Oh my God, how could this have happened? But
what do you mean, how could this have happened? Did you sit through the last 4 episodes? I think it's pretty understandable.
I don't know how this game survived after what you had to experience for the last 3 episodes. Although the last one went in your favor, which is fortunate for you. But yeah, you're going to get your redemption arc to continue this episode, I imagine. So I'm going to roll a die, and fortunately for you, I rolled a 2, so that means you're going to get to go first.
I guess. I mean...
Oh, shit. You could not. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really have to fear getting FTK'd anymore, but I think it's probably still worth it. We're still not drawn for turn, right?
We are not.
All right.
We are not. We're close. We're not there yet.
All right, well, we'll lead with Pot of Greed. You ever heard of this card?
Sure. Ooh. I have. We've seen a lot of it in this series.
We're going to set 1, 2, 3, and back to you.
Freshly limited, too, so nice one of. Interestingly enough, a card that is not limited is Thunder Dragon.
Yes,
so we're going to go ahead and pitch that. And another card that is not limited, but in fact semi-limited, is the good old Graceful Charity.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay. I think we're probably going to pitch the obvious suspects here. Gonna go for Thunder Dragon. I guess we'll try it. You've got 2 back row, so we have to actually see if this resolves before we do anything. Monster Reborn, target my Thunder Dragon.
Sure.
We're gonna fire Last Will.
Dang. Okay.
It had the jar. That's crazy. Okay, so Last Will triggers. We're going to get Cannon Soldier.
Yep.
I'm going to normal Skull Angel, one of your favorite cards. Cannon Soldier effect, tribute Skull Angel.
I'll take 5.
And then Last Will triggers, we get Witch. Can we do it?
I thought you said Last Will sucked now.
Last Will now only triggers from field, buddy.
Wait, so how do you trigger Last Will the first time?
By dark holing my Thunder Dragon.
Oh, right.
May I proceed with the loop?
Yeah, if you want.
We'll activate. Last Will, add. You gonna make me do the whole thing, or you want to just concede now?
I would appreciate it, yeah.
You can concede, or if you want to see the whole thing. Unless you got, I mean, you could have something for all I know. Okay, sure. Just stop me if you want to stop me. Let me know. And then this should be the last one.
Yeah, you got it.
Holy shit.
Oh
my God. I guess you can still do it. That's fucking insane how I couldn't do it any of the other previous games, but this one, everything's nerfed and we did it turn 1.
Well, I wasn't expecting to get FTK'd after all of the nerfs, but hey! That's the Alex Cimoooooo difference. Ooh.
Evidently.
Yeah, I got a difference for you, buddy.
Okay, sure. I got it last game. It's only fair.
Uh-oh. All right, Gemini Elf, Sangan. And then I trigger Sangan, right?
Nope.
All right. Well, that's fine.
You tried.
Go ahead.
All right, we'll draw standby main. I have no clue what you could have set. Could be just like Moth, which would be annoying. So you know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go set, and let's see what you got.
Standby main. Let's normal summon Witch. Wow.
It's the jar. I knew it. I knew he had the jar.
Oh, you're going to judgment the jar?
Maybe. I'm thinking about it. You know what? Yeah, let's judgment the jar. You got your own judgment?
I don't. That's completely fine with me. We'll go swords here. Let's see what we're working with.
My Sangan.
Okay. I don't really want to attack the Sangan. I'm chilling.
You're chilling? All right, I'm drawing. Standby main. I will sack. Maybe. You know what? Fuck it. Set 1. Turn 1 on swords. What are you going to do?
Good question. I don't really have much to do, so...
You know, let's keep the fun rolling. I'll set another one. Turn 2 on swords.
Get in there, Witch.
Sure. Sangan effect. What's that? I guess Faith. That seems okay.
Behold, Morphing Jar!
Morphing Jar is back. Sure. All right.
Woohoo!
Had 2 jars.
Oh, I got no pieces for that? Oh my god. All right. Let's go graceful.
Sure.
Well, I probably don't need this swords or this mechanical chaser. Let's use this swords, right?
It is a Sangan and a Witch.
Oh, great. My 2 favorites. Bada bing, bada boom.
Just walling up with everything. All right. Standby main. I've got my own graceful.
Yep.
And I think we're going to pitch... Man, I'm so used to just like auto-defaulting to the searchers to pitch with graceful because they used to trigger, but now they don't. That's so lame. I'm going to get rid of Summon Skull Fisher. Then I'm going to set 1 and then set 1, 2, 3.
Oh my god. All right.
That swords is gone and this one's at turn 1.
Okay, how does Last Will work right now?
So Last Will, it works anytime a monster's sent from field to grave, you get to special summon a guy.
We'll just go combat. Let's go jar in here.
I guess I'll mirror force this. It's not great because you have Witch, but I just want to clean up your board.
We'll go Witch. We'll grab, Faith. Let's grab Faith. Second main, we'll set a card. It could be anything.
Could be anything.
We'll set 1 more. Go ahead.
I'm under sword, so I cannot do much. So I will pass. Turn 2.
I'll try for Faith.
What are you targeting?
Graceful. Let's go
Can't even activate
Fissure
it.
here.
Oh, now you can activate it. I lied. I'll go Sangan effect.
Yeah.
I will grab... I guess I'll grab my own Faith.
Let's go Charity. I probably don't need Fissure. And I don't think I need, this is weird, Last Will. Pot. Not exactly what I was looking for. Let's go Reborn, target. Let's go Chaser. Let's go Fissure.
Trigger Witch.
Yep.
Don't know what I'm grabbing with this Witch. I will be honest with you. Guess I will grab a Gemini Elf. Why not?
Sure. Let's go Chaser.
I'm going to Waboku.
That's fine.
I think this still flips, though. It is Sangan.
Okay.
I'll draw, and there's just not a ton I can do while I'm stuck under swords. So I'm just going to set, and I'm going to pass.
All right, let's see it. Raigeki.
I imagine this is going to get judgmented, so I will try anyway.
It is going to get judgmented.
Since we've not seen a single trap card out of you this whole game. Yeah. Sangan. I guess I will get Witch.
Battle phase. Wow.
I imagine you have the second judgment.
I do.
Yep. Okay. All right.
All right, we got a game on our hands.
Buddy. I tried to. What do you mean we got a game? You won. Oh wait, I won the first one. I forgot I FTK'd you.
That's right. I died in 1 second.
For some reason, I just assumed I lost the first game. But I guess we do have a game 3 on our hands here.
Oh man, my hand is so good. Please don't FTK me.
I am just going to set a humble card and pass.
Oh, thank God. Pot of Greed.
Sure.
You're
getting that Pot of Greed luck now.
That's just like so Sangan. There's just nothing I can. It's just like so clearly Sangan. There's nothing I could do about it. Okay. Whatever. Good.
3 back row.
Yep.
Oh my God.
It's 3 judgments.
All right. That's just a lie. That is just a straight up lie. Okay. So I'll try for Dark Hole.
But I really, really want this to resolve. I am
Why do you want it to resolve, Joseph?
Because it's Magician of Faith. I'm going to judgment this.
Judgment the hole. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. That's fair.
I'm going to make you go 2 for 1 on a fucking Tribute to the Doomed here.
I am going to set a card.
Ugh.
Flip Sangan.
Yes.
You're right. It's Sangan. I'm going to go for a Witch while we're at it. I think this is Morphing Jar.
It's Magician of Faith.
It was Faith. Okay, you weren't lying.
Yeah, I'll take 11 as well.
I can actually put some pressure on you because you used that judgment. So, I don't think I'm dying in this position. So we'll see. Go ahead.
All right, pot. Oh yeah. Oh, the train is a running.
Oh, now we might be dying. Now we might be dying.
Oh, yes, we might. Oh my.
You can't stein me though. You can't stein me. That's very important.
That is true. That is actually, in fact, correct. I'll lose Chaser Sangan. Change of Heart. Give me your Witch.
Sure.
Last Will.
Okay. This isn't going to your graveyard, by the way.
Does it care?
It does.
Oh, well, then that's not going to happen.
It would be sent to your graveyard. Would you like to change that play?
Yeah, I would like to change that. Okay, in that case...
I'm sure you have another way to resolve it. Oh, okay.
We will discard something else.
Okay, sure. So still resolving Charity then, if you want to put it back.
We'll lose Sangan and Last Will, would you believe?
I believe it. If you don't have Stein access, I think Last Will loses a lot of its potency. You should know that from Reaper format.
I'm going to go Chaser. Chase him. Let's get the Sangan here.
Take 850. I guess I'll trigger my Sangan. You know what would be really funny is that I could get my Cyberstein. The problem is I'd be Cybersteining into 2 back row, and that just seems like a bad idea.
What's the issue? I don't see the problem.
It's funny. I like it. I'll take him.
All right. Well, I don't want to die, so I will Swords here.
That's exactly what I was hoping would happen.
Go ahead.
All right. We'll draw. Stand by main. I'm just going to put this Witch sideways. I'm going to set. I'm going to set. And I'm going to have you put turn 1 on Swords. Go ahead.
All right. Let's keep the pressure going. It's chasing time.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
All right. It's Sangan.
Get them both. Get them both.
And you're going to get them both. Sure. You know what? They're just so good to me. I think I'm going to take a Gemini Elf, and I think I'm just straight up going to take another one of these floaters. So we'll just
for
take
sure.
Witch. Why not?
Go ahead.
Draw standby main. I mean, I just have to like not die here, right? I'm going to normal Gemini Elf.
Yes.
Activate Swords.
No, that's really annoying.
Oh, you're gonna judgment that, buddy? You are. Oh shit. You're insane. Okay, it's going to put you down to 1450. That's fine. I will set a card. Good luck. Turn 2 on Swords.
Change of Heart.
That's a 1 of. How bad is this for me?
Come on, man.
This is
cool.
what, 30, 37, 47, 50, 56? So I am...
You're dead to a normal.
Any normal summon or reborn off of lethal. Oh, not reborn. It has to be a normal summon.
Has to be normal.
We have plenty of those. I'm going to judgment.
We're getting so close here, buddy. I just believe in my heart of hearts that it is not Mirror Force. Okay, it's not Mirror Force.
It's not Mirror Force. I mean, if you have Reborn, you have Reborn.
Don't have Reborn. Shit. At least you can't Stein me.
I was hoping to Stein before, but here we are. Swords expires this turn. That's annoying. What the hell are you going to do next turn? Like, nothing? 2 judgments gone. Still got a bunch of cards in hand. You have to find a way to, like, trade with this elf. I'm going to just set... I guess there's a world if you have, like, Raigeki plus Guy. I'll Fisher your Chaser. I'll just try to insulate. Go ahead. I guess this makes Darkhold good for you if you have it.
Ah, I really hate your foresight on these things, dude. I hate your foresight on these things.
Raigeki.
Okay. Which?
I'll take 11. It's getting close.
It is getting real close, and I need it to be a little less close, so let's just do this as well.
No! It's not fair. It's not fair. I'll set and pass. Go. Turn 1.
I know that's some fucking stupid shit. That's a floater for sure. It's like the most clear floater of all time. And if it's Witch, I can't clear it with Witch. That's so annoying. So we have to tribute for Summon Skull, trigger Witch. Fucking, I don't know. We'll get Gemini Elf.
Sure.
If I had 2 turns, I could go get something better. Wow.
It is Witch. You made the right call. I'm going to grab Faith.
Yeah, go ahead.
Interesting. Okay, what are the back row? Well, you have, like, maybe, like, a Trap Hole, like a Kunai. So you're playing just, like, the normal version of this deck. You could have, like, fucking anything. I'm going to Duster. It's too juicy.
Oh, no, I have to judgment
buddy.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh.
I'm trying to put this Feather Duster in the graveyard, but that's okay. I'm just going to set 1. Now I can put it in the grave. Go ahead. Turn 2 on Swords.
All right, I think we got it. Oh.
Yeah, you got it. Good game. I couldn't do anything else. Oh, it's the next fucking card, bro.
Oh, thank God. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you could have gotten it off of the sword or off the Faith.
I could
triggered.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't gonna get another turn. I already knew you had Gemini Elf, so there was like there was no wall that was gonna save me here. I really just had to draw out of it, I think. So as you can tell, I boarded out of Exodia after the first game because like I genuinely don't think one, it's good enough to compete with like the good stuff deck at this point. I think I got extraordinarily lucky that I actually pulled off the FTK. That's just not the case. That is just not going to happen again. Like it shows that the Exodia deck, even though all the pieces are at 1, Pot's limited, Graceful semied, Last Will's limited. I think Reborn is semi at this point too. It's conceivable to still Exodia and win, but the problem is that with only 1 apiece of the Exodia pieces, a single Morphing Jar wins the game. Because if you get a single piece out of my hand, there's no Monster Reincarnation, there's no Dark Factory of Mass Production, there's no Backup Soldier. That piece is in the graveyard forever. And so that overnight means that the Exodia deck is, I mean, you could still try to troll people with it, and maybe if good stuff is like the best deck, no one's going to actually play Morphing Jar anymore. So maybe you could cheese wins, but I feel like people would just side Morphing Jar just as like a precaution in case they come across it anyway, and then they're just playing the better deck. So I thought it'd be more interesting if we got to play like a mirror of the actual beatdown decks, and this was fun. I think this was, aside from the first game where I FTK'd you, that you didn't find that fun, but
no, not at all.
I think the actual second and third games are actually quite interesting.
Yeah, we had some back and forth. It is crazy to think that like, yup, we have done our little Exodia deviation, and now back to your regularly scheduled Swords of Revealing Light Wars.
But it's interesting because now we have like Cyberstein, we have Solemn Judgment to like negate a bunch of things, so like there is counterplay in that regard.
Oh yeah.
Change of Heart's limited too, so like there's the fact that a lot of the power cards are limited or semied in some way means that the blowouts aren't nearly as likely, but it is still insane to me that some of these cards are still at 3 copies, just like they're like, yeah, this is fine, you know, swords can stay at 3, no problem.
Glad that we have come out on the other end of Exodia, and I hope we do not have to see this card again.
Yeah, there's no way that the format could get worse than Exodia, right, Joseph?
Yeah, for sure.
Right, Joseph?
Yeah, for sure.
Right, Joseph?
Yes, for sure, yes!
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoy. Let's go ahead and shout the patrons for all of their continued support. So shout to Shout1317, Tim00x3, MBT Play Medolce, Moto, Cameron L. Smith, Phoenix the Immortal, Pony Stark, The Synchro Guy, Dan the Man Hoban, Little Faveleaf, Draconic, Dylan Rare Hunter, JW11860, Extremely Vulgar Man, Brody Eastwood, Flannel Daddy, Chrono the Branded Enjoyer, Twinkle Muncher, Matthew Brady, Uncle Brian of Stardust, Power Rave, both out a stupidly long name that barely makes any sense and is annoying to read out loud, Cheeks McLapperty, Stolfin Amethyst, Wonder Waffle, Powerful, MBT canceled by all community soon, canceled by all committee soon, canceled by all players soon, Nicholas Carpenter, Corvain, Calvin Tempest, RIP Akira Toriyama, Daniel Howell, and Life Keeps Using Solemn Judgment on my hopes and dreams. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.